People, how you all guys doing? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. It's Sandra here and I'm back again with another video from Charlie Kirk. Okay, so this says Charlie Kirk smashes radical pro-trans students. Quite interesting. If you guys have been on my channel, you know that this is actually a course I'm quite interested in. Yes, of course I'm quite interested in. So stick around and let's just get right into the video.
I had a statement to say. You were banned on Twitter or whatever because you dead named somebody. I just wanted to say that two wrongs does not make a right. It's not right that you were deplatformed. I don't think anybody should be deplatformed for saying anything. I fully believe in freedom of speech. But I mean, I wasn't so happy with you. You seemed kind of proud about, not proud, but it just seemed wrong to you that you were dead naming somebody. I get it. You know, if it was a mistake, that's fine.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? Okay. Well, okay, then you're proud of it. That does not make it right. I think as generations go on, we become more accepting to things. And I think that even if you don't like somebody, it's not a good idea to normalize dead naming.
Yeah, so can you explain to our audience what is dead naming? You probably know it better than I do.
Is when somebody transitions and they choose a new name conforming to their gender. So if their name was Lisa before and they changed it to Jack, if you called them Lisa before that, or Lisa after they transitioned, that is dead naming.
What's wrong with that?
I think it's very wrong because I have a lot of trans friends, and if they were dead named, it would be, I mean, shattering to them because it's something that is so personal to them. What?
Shattering?
Yes. Yes. It's who they are now. People don't transition just for the hell of it, you know? It's a very personal thing to them. They don't do it to appeal to the other gender or whatnot.
Yeah, but let's think about it. Isn't it part of their biography? Can you really erase history and act as if that it wasn't your name for a while? For example, it was another name than Rachel Levine.
Well, why do names matter so much? I mean, it's what you want to be called. It's just a title for you.
But it's part of your biography, right? It's a fact that a man who now thinks he's a woman had a family, got married, and then magically decided to no longer be a man. I was talking facts, so your problem would be with telling of a biography?
Well, I mean, it's not as deep as you think it is. It's just somebody, it's them now. And it's just being respectful.
Oh, okay, but it's being respectful by not being able to act as if they were something that they weren't. Isn't their whole identity in being no longer what they were? So it shouldn't shatter them. It should be empower them.
No.
So then why do they call themselves trans if it's not their whole identity?
Well, people don't go out saying, guess what? I'm trans.
Yeah, they do.
They just kind of exist. That's Twitter. That's Twitter. I can guarantee you.
And TikTok and most campuses and the trans groups and the trans flag and the trans parade and the trans music and the trans stuff. People say they're trans all the time. If the change is not part of their identity, then why do they call themselves trans?
Well, I mean, it's just a title. Everybody, like, our society is more, you know, we want titles for just about everything.
I agree. So I don't accept the title, and I should have a right not to accept it.
Well, everybody has a right to be respected. They haven't done any wrong to you.
No, you don't have a right to be respected. You have a right to speak. You have to earn respect in a decent society.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to fully understand what you mean, like...
Yeah, so for example, I don't respect the Unabomber.
Okay.
That's an extreme example.
Okay.
I don't respect people that perform abortions.
Okay.
I don't respect people that medically mutilate children.
Okay.
And I don't respect someone that is taking Lupron and says they're a man all of a sudden and demands I comply. That's not the way the world works. Respect must be earned.
I think respect is just a give, like, it's a base thing. It's not like I'm going to go into this room and say, I disrespect every single one of you because you don't believe what I believe, or you're not presenting how I want. You know? I mean...
Well, okay, so what about my respect? Why was I kicked off Twitter? You said it's wrong, but you can all of a sudden see where your viewpoint quickly becomes, and we have to shut somebody up because you deserve respect.
I mean, honest to God, I'm not trying to, like... I'm kind of losing my thoughts a little bit, but I just want to put out there that I think it's just basic human respect. You know, it's not that deep. People just, if they feel one way and they truly believe it, it's not just, oh shit, I feel like being a boy now. It's not just a on the whim decision. It's something that's held inside them.
Right. Well, hold on a second. But I just want to. I think you're being sincere in this regard. But why? So let's just take gender affirming care or whatever you might call it. Okay. Right.
Yes.
So affirming someone's mental delusion, where they think they're a man or a woman, why is that the appropriate line of treatment? For example, do we give liposuction to people that are anorexic?
Well, no. I mean, I think
no, because we know better. We know it's going to harm them, and we love that person.
No,
so that's not medicine. That would be torture.
Yeah, and not everybody who decides to transition decides to change their genitalia or go through something completely irreversible, right?
That's true. Some do, though. Tens of thousands.
I have conflicted opinions on gender affirming surgery because it's irreversible, and if it's a decision made too young of an age, then it's not right to do it on children. No,
that's fair. I appreciate the honesty. Yeah. I really mean that, and you should be encouraged. I wish more people were sane enough to say that. Mm-hmm. But let me kind of complete the point. A biography should not be eliminated because someone demands respect. For example, I can say that Muhammad Ali used to be called Cassius Clay. It's part of his life. And then he found Islam, and he decided to be called something else. And all of a sudden you get this rancor and this uproar that somehow I'm being hateful and no longer worthy of a Twitter platform because I said a fact. That Levine had a name and a family and was a man and then claims he's a woman. If all of a sudden history and facts can be erased, we are dangerously approaching a 1984 dystopian world control scenario that I don't think any of us should entertain. Final thoughts?
Okay, to wrap it up, my point was basically just I think it's better to normalize or not normalize, but like not put out that it's okay to do these types of things. I think it's just general human respect. I think we just all need to become more accepting, and we don't really need to,
Got it. And so my opinion is 180. We have clarity, not agreement. I'm not going to accept mental delusions with force.
That right there is a sweet girl hanging out with the wrong crowd. That is just what it says. Like, she is such a sweet girl, such an honest person. Like, I like her, okay? I like her. I can see why she would have lots of trans friends because she is just so nice, and she just wants to be, she would be so accepting that she wouldn't want to question things. Do you get me? Because from the way she's speaking, she knows that it's really not that deep, like she said. And in the same light, she said it's going to be shattering to them. Like, why should it matter? Like, why would your name be legally Jack and you want to be called Lisa? Like, it's just like asking a stranger or someone in a formal setting to call you by your nickname. That is not appropriate. I don't even know if this happens to you. There are times when I see someone, like, I see someone, not necessarily like know the person, like I'm aware of the person's existence, and I just know the person's name by chance, and I need to get that person's attention. I feel some type of way to even call that person's name because the person's going to be like, oh, how do you know my name? Because in my head, I feel like I could just be overthinking and that could just be crazy. But that is just how the name you call people determines your relationship. If your name is showing that you are John Doe on your certificate, on your bio, and I call you John Doe, but you want to identify as Lisa, you wouldn't force me to call you Lisa. If your name was John Doe and you want people to call you Lisa, go make it legal. Go make it legal, because if you're being called something at home, that is your pet name. That is a name that people who are really close to you can call you. You shouldn't expect people, strangers or people in a formal setting, to, accept like a nickname and think it's okay. It's just super crazy how she said, it's just a name. It's not that deep. But your friends are going to be shattered if they're being dead named. Like, what the heck is dead name? Like, where did they get all this English? Where did they get all these words? Where did they get all this phrase, all these titles? Like, what is dead names? Like, what is that? So it is dead naming to call someone the new name they chose, but it's not dead naming to the name that they were given legally. It's not. Make it make sense. If your name is John and you want to be called Lisa, go make it legal. And if you transition into another gender, I bet you name is not what makes you who you are. Name is not part of your identity. Name is not part of who you are, to be honest. Like, your name is really not that deep. So if people want to call you by what your legal name is or by your pet name, whatnot. If you're serious in life, you just go along with it. Do you know something I've just realized? Like, as an African person, I'm aware that there could be some trans people in Africa, but trust me, the statistics are really low, and even the way they trans would be definitely different from like the European countries, Asian countries, or whatnot, right? So I'm aware that there are trans people, right? But I don't think it's legal, so they don't really come out, right? But as an African person, as I was saying, I just see this like Americans who are just so focused and so worried about transitioning, so worried about gender, as people who are so entitled. So they have a lot of time on their hands. They don't have a lot of worries, because I don't think the kids in Gaza are thinking about gender right now. They really are just thinking about like their next meal. I don't think people in Lagos are really thinking about gender right now. They're thinking about how to work hard to sustain their lifestyle with the crazy economy. I don't think, I really don't think the kids in China are thinking about gender right now. They're thinking about innovation. I just feel like it's so much liberality, it's so much freedom, it's so much catering, it's so much pampering. Like, these people have so much time on their hands. They have their minds are. I actually envy that, because for you to start thinking about gender, dead naming, LGBTQ, like for you to start thinking about all those things, you have to be settled in life. You have to. You have to be focused. Do you get me? Like, you have to be focused. You don't have anything distracting you. You're healthy. You're eating. You have a roof over your head. I feel like that's just what is causing all this, right? Because by the time people go through real life things, trust me, whether somebody calls you John or calls you Lisa wouldn't be what really matters. Wouldn't be what will bring you on stage to have a debate or to tell people to be respectful and stuff. Trust me, it really doesn't matter in the real world. And it's crazy, because that's not even how the world works. The world doesn't give you what you want. You cannot say because you want to work in a bank and you want to identify as a banker, the bank is gonna keep offering you a job. That is not how the world works. The world doesn't just work at the snap of your fingers. Okay, you cannot just wake up one morning after years of deciding you want to be a certain gender and expect the whole world to just accept you. Okay, you know what you've gone through. You know where, or rather, what led you to being or making such decisions. Right? That should be you. You shouldn't come force it on others. Okay. Dead naming. Guys, we did get into this. Thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know what you all think. Let me know what you all think down in the comment box. Okay. Thank you so much.